Thank you for joining us for your October 20th parkerweather.info daily update. Today's going to be a tropical update on some stuff going on in the Pacific as well as some stuff going on in the Atlantic a little bit closer to home. So right now here is a current IR still image of tropical storm, or excuse me, typhoon category 3 Maggie, and it is just off the coast of China. Some of the outer rain bands are reaching the Hong Kong radar, which I'll show you in a second, and it is moving to the north and will soon be affecting the Chinese mainland over, I'd say, probably the next 6 hours. Here is our visible loop of the storm that was taken. It's still dark there right now. So I had to get this, and this is archived a little bit over the last time there was light there. So this is the visible loop of the storm heading towards China. And then here's one of our rainbow IR enhancements of the storm. You can see the very strong bands on the eastern edge of the storm were actually still hitting the Philippines with some rain, but those have slowly moved out of that area and they're going to move into China over the next 12 to 24 hours and begin to affect that entire portion of Southeast Asia. Here's the Hong Kong radar. You can see a couple of the outer bands still over the ocean, but they're going to begin to reach the Chinese mainland. None of these outer bands are too strong as of right now, but they're going to strengthen as the storm begins to head closer to the mainland. Well, right now, Maggie is a category 3, and it looks like it's going to stay a 3 until right before it makes landfall, and it's going to drop down to a category 2. Now, one of the reasons for that is because of the lower sea surface temperatures closer inland to China, which we're going to show you in a second. Well, here is the projected track from the Joint Typhoon. A lot of the projected tracks from Joint Typhoon, Chinese Meteorological Center, Japanese Meteorological Center are all pretty confident on a eastward landfall east of Hong Kong in the Guangdong province. But a lot of the computer models are having some trouble with it. Here is the Japanese projected path just to the west of Taiwan. I'm sure Taiwan is going to get some rain from this typhoon as well. So here's the GFS, and it has a much eastern track, much eastern track with this storm. So a lot of the models are having some trouble with this, but everyone else is pretty confident that it's going to be a much more westward track as compared to what we're seeing with the GFS right now. And one of the reasons why it's going to begin to slide a little bit to the east is because of our current surface level. You notice the high pressure, the trough that is dug down into the southwestern portion of China, and that's going to sort of bring the storm along the Chinese coastline up into east of Hong Kong. So right now, a second ago, we talked about why it was going to ramp down to a typhoon category 2. And if you notice, I know it's small, but just look off the just look off the coast of China, and you can see there's a pretty quick drop in sea surface temperature, and that's going to be the driving force behind the storm dropping off from a 3 to a category 2 typhoon. So here's our 12:45 a.m. update from the Hong Kong Meteorological Office. It was 510 kilometers southeast of Hong Kong, moving north at 10 kilometers per hour. It's currently a Cat 3 with 100, and I don't know why that says 165. It's actually 115 miles an hour sustained winds with probably 165 mile an hour gusts. Okay, so one of the biggest concerns for China right now is their rice crop. So southern China is the largest rice producing region in the entire area of China. Harvest time for the single crop is June and July, so they've already harvested. But a lot of portions in southern China are able to do 2 crop periods per year, and that's the double crop region. And their harvest period is right now, so this is the last thing they want to see. And the biggest concern with crop destruction, you guessed it, is flooding in southern portions of China. So that entire red area that you're seeing is rice production in the southern portion of China. And that green area is the only place in China, for the most part, that they can get away with doing 2 crop cycles per year. And here are just a couple pictures of flooding in portions of China the last time a typhoon hit. It absolutely destroys the crops. It soaks all of the, you want to leave a level of water about halfway up the rice stalk, And when you cover the entire rice stock, it absolutely destroys the crops. Here are some more destroyed crops the last time a tropical storm moved through China as well. So basically, um, there is going to be a Meggie is going to move into China and put a lot of the crop production in a lot of danger for a lot of the Chinese production. So let's go ahead and move over to the Atlantic and look at some of the tropical stuff going on there. Just to the south of Cuba, about where Paula started last time, we have another tropical system beginning to develop. And a lot of the models actually are having a very hard time deciding where they want to send this guy. Some of the uh, some of the models have it moving off the western coast of Cuba, in between the Yucatan Peninsula and Cuba, much like Paula did. And then some of them have a retrograding back to the southeast and then moving towards Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Honduras, and Guatemala. So not a lot. And then if you go ahead and look at every single tropical model that the National Hurricane Center releases, it truly does look like a bowl of spaghetti. And that's sort of where we get the name spaghetti plots from. No real decisions on where this system is going to be heading. And same with the intensity models. There's really no confluence in strengthening or decreasing intensity with any of the models. So we're going to continue to keep an eye on it as we look at the visible imagery. This is just a still image, and if you look just to the left of the heavy convection that's south of Cuba near Jamaica, that's where our rotation is. So there is a defined rotation with this storm, but Jamaica and Cuba are going to get inundated with rain over the next 6 hours. And then here's the AVN, the broad band of convection over Cuba and Jamaica are much more evident now. And that clearing just to the west of there, that's where the circular rotation is. So expect a lot more convection to round up around that low over the next 12 hours. Well, this has been your parkerweather.info update for October 20th. Thanks for tuning in, and be sure to log on to our website for continuing updates on all tropical systems. Thanks for joining in, and have a great day.